Hola! So if you're watching this video, I take it that you are wanting to know how to make a man love you, and you don't have to wonder anymore. I've got all the answers. I have absolutely every answer you need, except how to keep a man. How to get a man to stick around. Now that's one I need to watch a few tutorials on, because I haven't mastered that one just yet. But I'm pretty confident that I can teach you how to make a man love you, because I am pretty good at getting men to love me. Not for long. We all know that. But I manage. I get by. I scrape by. Now, this video really could be summed up in one word, and that would be deceit. You want to be deceitful. And you're probably thinking, well, I don't like to be a very deceitful person. This is going to be hard for me. Well, I can't relate to that. So, I'm going to give you all the little tips and tricks on how to convince a man that you're exactly what they're looking for, even though you probably don't actually like any of the things that they like or really care, but you're just looking for a man. A placeholder even, until you find the right one that somehow, by grace of God, actually relates to you, but is not related to you. Now, if you're into that, I'm not judging, but I think the law has a different idea about what you should be doing in that regard. So anyway, the first thing you want to do is you want to get on to maybe a dating site. You want to start going out to clubs and bars and little social clubs, and you just want to start talking to people. Now, what you have to do is list all of your assets. Me, for example, I'm independent. I don't really need a man. I think for myself. I have my own money. I look good. A lot of men want me. You're thinking assets. Well, wrong. All of those things intimidate men, and men don't like being intimidated. So you gotta pretend they don't exist. So pretty much what I like to tell men is that, you know, it's really hard sometimes because I'm on my own, and I'd really like to have someone to spend a quality time with. In reality, I hate being with people. I like to spend a lot of time alone, but they don't need to know that just yet. I mean, if you start talking to a guy and you say to them, I like being alone, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, bye. Nice knowing ya. They're gonna think that you're pushing them away. Now, the other thing is, men like an attractive woman. They like a woman that other men want. But they don't want to know that other men want you, which is kind of a whole paradox that I'm still working on perfecting. But the main thing to do is just make sure you look so good that whenever you're in the room with them, every other man is looking at you. And just pretend you don't notice. Just pretend you don't care. Just pretend like that's not what this is about. What, they're looking at me? Well, I can't believe it, kind of thing. That's what you want to go for. That's what you want to do. Now, as far as appearance goes, it's important to get the assets out. What do I have? I've got some alright artificial breasts right here. I'm sure you've seen more than enough of them. And I've got great legs. So anytime you see me, you're going to see the legs first, brings you right up to the boobs, and then hello, a little smile, like a, hi, how are ya? Just going about my day. What are you up to? And it's just like a perfect combo, really. Now, another thing is you want to be vulnerable. You want to be available. You want to be easy. It's always worked for me. I mean, really, it's not often that I meet... Now, there's plenty of guys that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Let's be honest. And those men know it straight away, because I tell them. I just bold-faced tell them, no thank you, sir. I'm repulsed by you. My skin's crawling at the thought of continuing this conversation with you, sir. Please leave me alone. I don't mince my words. I let them know how I feel. Now, as far as... Which is probably a good thing, because then I don't get to know a lot of guys that I'm not interested in. And that's kind of why I do that, is because I don't want to waste my time entertaining the idea that I might fall for someone that I'm not physically attracted to. For some of you, that might not be important. For me, I'm, you know, quite vapid, vacuous, and shallow, very surface, so it is important to me. Now, I'm quite rude to men regardless of if I'm interested in them, and that's a hard thing for me to wrestle with, for me to hide, for me to suppress, but I manage. Somehow I manage. Not for long, and that's why they're not around, but I manage to suppress it for a little bit. Now, at first they think it's just a bit cheeky, a bit flirty, and that's a good thing. You want to let them know you've got options. You've got a lot of things going on. Men want you, you know, but again, you can't acknowledge it. You can't acknowledge it because that'll intimidate them and they'll think you're a slut. You probably are. If you're anything like me, that word gets thrown around quite a bit. But maybe you aren't, but you kind of want to bring up, a good one is, oh, everyone at the gym's so friendly. They're always offering to help me. I love going to the gym. What you're saying and what he's thinking is, I'm so good looking that men are just bending over backwards to help me and I've got so many options, but I don't even notice because I'm so sweet and so careless and vulnerable, and I'm a damsel, really. You want to play the damsel card. I have no idea what's going on, but plenty of men want to help me make it through the day and make it through life, but I'm all yours, I swear. Now, it's important. I mean, you can be monogamous if you want, or not, and that's between you and him. That's fine. That's up to you. Who am I to judge? But if he says he's polyamorous, you want to say that you are too. Now, whether you are or not, it doesn't matter. Who you are doesn't matter. Just take who you are, write it down, and throw it out the window, because honestly, he doesn't care and neither do you. Or you're going to have to learn not to care, because they're just not interested. They want a perfect match, and the perfect match is pretty much them identical. It's no coincidence that gay men date other gay men that look exactly like them, because men want someone similar to them. Now, if they want a man or a woman, you know, physical appearance probably varies, but men as a whole want someone similar to them. So find out what they like and pretend you like it too. There's no coincidence that all the men I've been seeing are surfers and now I'm into tanning and going to the beach. I hate it. It's itchy, it's sandy, it's hot, it's wet. But I do it anyway, because you know what this says? This says I'm not lying about enjoying the sun. I am, but I've got evidential proof that I'm not. Up there's for thinking, and sometimes down there's for dancing. Take that into consideration. You want to go dancing, take them dancing. If he's not a dancer, dance on him, dance around him, dance for him. They always love that. I mean, no complaints yet. You don't even have to be a good dancer. You really don't have to be good at anything. Men kind of aren't that smart. You want to pretend they are, but they're really not. They're not smart, they're not clever. Or at least in my experience, and maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Now, another thing I like to do is not really talk a lot when I'm with them. I have, which you can probably tell just from this video and from any other video ever, I like to talk a lot. And when I talk, I'm pretty honest. I have this issue where I like to be honest. I just say it. I just say the truth. So lying takes time. You want to lie to a man, it can be difficult because you're probably going to spend a lot of time together. So I just kind of keep my mouth shut, which they love because then they don't have to worry about what I want. I mean, I'm still going to get what I want, but they're going to think it's of their own accord. And that's another thing. You need to learn how to manipulate them. Make them think that they want to do something for you when actually you just want it done. And they don't realize it. You just, oh, it's so hard. I'm going to have to go do this. And they're like, no, I'll go pick it up for you. Don't worry. I'm coming over anyway. I'll swing by the store and get that dress you want. It's fine. You'll be fine. Accept the gift. Say thank you. Be very appreciative. Men like appreciation. There's not much to appreciate about them, but you got to do it anyway. Most of this really is just realizing that you don't need a man. you probably don't want a man. But they can be kind of enjoyable, you know? So you just tolerate them. You just let them think whatever. It's like a child. You know, you take a child to a supermarket and they're like, I want candy, I want candy. So you go and you grab some fruit and you say, yeah, no, it's candy. You know, you grab some fruit without them seeing, you put it on the little shelf where the candy is and go, wow, look at this. This candy looks exactly like an apple. We should try it out. Next thing you know, they're eating an apple. Men are exactly the same as that. You can easily trick them. Like a dog when you pretend to throw a ball and it goes to fetch it. Think of men like that. Very easy to trick, very easy to fool, very easy to lie to. Now, that's what brings me on to men not sticking around. Most of my relationships have been built on lies and deceit. So it doesn't always work out because my true colors tend to shine through sooner than later. And I already hear it. I know you're thinking, well, you need to start building relationships on honesty and integrity, which I don't know what kind of integrity you're looking for here, but you're not going to get it. But no, you're wrong. Wrong again. That's why I'm making this video and not you. I don't need to work on building relationships on honesty and integrity. I need to work on maintaining the facade. That I'm peaceful, I'm quaint, I'm low maintenance. Men love a woman that's low maintenance. I don't know why. They're not very exciting. As far as I'm concerned, from what I know, I don't imagine I'd be too exciting if I was actually low maintenance. I feel quite bored when I pretend to be. So, actually living a low maintenance life, not for me. No thank you, sir. Carry on. You want to keep a lot of distance between you and your partner that you've made fall in love with you. It works every time. I know you guys probably think I'm just rambling, but man after man after man, they just fall and they fall hard and then they leave. And then I'm the one that's like, oh, that's not good. And then I'm quite sad. So it's kind of, I get what's coming to me. You have to keep in mind, you're going to get what's coming to you, and that's why it's okay. Because we all pay our dues one way or another. So there's no hard feelings. Karma's a bitch, but Karma and I have a deal. She's gonna leave me alone for a while, and we can get into that in another video. But as a whole, you just want to keep the distance between you and your partner so that you can go home, reboot, refresh, go back into your natural state. And then when you see them again, you're ready to just nod along and go, yeah, no, I love that. That's so funny. That's so cool. Oh my God. You're so smart. I've never heard anyone interpret it like that. You want to come up with a few catchphrases that really they probably haven't heard but will boost their ego. I like to say things like, you're so emotionally intelligent, that's really hard to find in a man. Or, now here's the thing. I say this to a lot of people, this next one. If you're a friend or just a woman in general, or someone that I'm not interested in sexually, then I'm being honest. And this is why I use it with men I'm interested in, because of how I use it just in my real life. But when you meet a man, and particularly if he's sharing something with you, something he cares about, you want to say to him, it's really clear that you have a perspective, you know? And again, that's something I genuinely use, and that's why I like to use it with men, because it's something that's in my repertoire of thought, something I think, something that I've processed for other people. Now, I don't use it willy-nilly, trust me, because the last thing I want to do is give someone the idea that they're actually good at something they're not, if I have respect for them. The men I date, no respect for them at all. I mean, come on, let's be real. They're all just trying to get it in and trying to convince you that they're not a bad person. So you got to play the game. And I know you're thinking, well, isn't that hypocritical? That's exactly what you're doing. And you're right, it is. But I'm not ashamed of it, so I'm going to get what I want too, honey bunny. You know, it's like I said, you just got to take them for all they're worth. And you can do that by manipulating them, by lying to them, by scheming against them. you want to make friends with their friends. If all their friends like you, then they're going to be more inclined to like you as well. They're going to think that they like you because their friends are going to say, oh, she's so funny. She's so smart. She's so quiet. You know, she's really laid back. She's cool. She comes along for the ride. If he's hearing that a lot, he's going to start to believe it. So make friends with his friends and convince them you're a good person as well. You want to keep your friends far away from him. If the truth gets out, trust me, the ship sinks, and it sinks fast. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to really bring up any actual opinions that you have with him. It might be challenging to him, and men don't like to be challenged. They don't like drama. They don't like effort. We all know that. So you don't want to bring up your opinions. You don't want to bring up your feelings. You know, let them out irrationally with your friends or in your spare time. Start a blog. Start a blog with a pseudonym and start blogging about him. He won't know. As long as you keep the details vague, he won't know. You'll be able to vent and you'll be able to move on with it, and he'll still like you. I'm still working on maintaining the facade. Things I could probably do better is not sharing my opinions. Not getting so irrationally mad over things that I don't care about. Or maybe even forcing my feelings onto my male suitors is something I have a problem with. So you need to be able to identify your flaws, hide them from him, and secretly work on them until you really just are an empty shell, is what I've become. Nearly, still a little bit there that I need to chip out, but we're nearly there. We're nearly an empty shell, ready for any man to just sweep me off my feet and say, all right, lady, you're probably not who you say you are, especially after watching this video. They're gonna know the truth, but we'll get there. We'll do what we have to, and we will achieve. So, in closing, you want to be someone you're not. You want to be the person they want. You want to figure out what they're looking for. And generally what they're looking for is their mother, but hotter. So try and be that. You know, do a little research before you meet up with him if you can. That's why it's important to get their name and their number when you meet them in person, and then just quickly, oh yeah, okay. Interesting. Put it all together. You got yourself a little cocktail of seduction. And you're ready to go. You'll have a man in no time. He won't stick around. I'm telling you that much. That's a guarantee. He's not going to stick around. Especially when the crazy comes out. They all like to run away. They think they're all tough and ready for anything until you get all cuckoo. Then they're out the door. But there you go. That's how to make a man love you. Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram, because I am currently becoming a beach babe. That's why I've got this red sunburn, which has actually like calmed down. My stomach has started to peel, only lightly, because I've stayed moisturized. But I'm also tanning quite a bit. New life, new me, new year. Go and follow my Instagram, jolene.dawson, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks!